Hello everyone, this is RJ Razor One. Once again with another quick speed painting tutorial. I start with a gray background. I'm working in black with a soft round brush to get the details and get the overall shape of the face and the hair and the hairline. I'm working in my shadows immediately right away. And I think this will help this to pop fairly fast. So after I do my blacks, I'll start to use my whites to bring out the highlights and my lights, and then keep working on the shaping the face, the hair, and continue on. The actor I chose this week is Jim Kelly. He was also known in the 70s. He was in Enter the Dragon, good guy who wear black, Black Samurai, and a slew of other movies back in the 70s. I believe he passed away this year, I believe, 2013. I picked him basically because he would be a very recognizable face. So anybody who's a martial artist would be able to recognize him almost instantly from this point, or even a little bit earlier, just from the shape of his afro and his features. I started at it in the white for the highlights and the brights. I keep toning and shaping the nose, the bridge of the nose, the lips, detailing the whites on the eyes and the color of the eyes. So now pretty much people could see who it is from this point on. Now I'm still working on the jaw structure, the neck, the way the light is on one side and the ambient light is on the other side. One side is a little bit brighter than the other, and the reflective light comes in from the opposite end. Later on I probably end up just whitening the background. Here I'm working on that spackle brush, which is it's like a round dot speckle brush that I use, and then I just put that on a separate layer, overlaid it, toned it down, shaped it to his head to give his afro the look like light is hitting it from different sides, and that usually works pretty well. And most art is more, how can we say, suggestive. You could usually get away with certain things. So here I'm working on the pupil of the eyes, the shape of the eyes, the eyelashes without actually doing the eyelashes. It's a speed painting, so I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. I know these videos seem a little bit long. They're usually about 10 minutes. And I may start to break them down into two parts. And do, the black and white section, and then progress to the color section on two different starts. Here I started doing the colorization of it. Looking to see what would work as far as skin tone, backdrop, putting elements behind him or next to him that you don't really see and you can't really focus on, but it would make him stand out more, so your eye will automatically get pulled into him. So these are basically techniques I've learned on YouTube. I'm a self-taught artist. I do graphite and pencil work. I started to get into airbrush, but I'm still learning, so I'm not going to post anything up until I'm really confident with that. My pencil work is good, but I'm usually traveling on a train. I spend 5 hours commuting on the train every day. That's round trip. And I get to do this. I break out my computer, my Wacom tablet. The program I'm using is Photoshop Elements 10. I have an Intuos 4 tablet, small, which fits right over my keyboards. So the only problem with that is you don't get to really learn the keyboard shortcuts to the program. So you have to know where everything is located just with the pen and the Wacom tablet on top of your keyboards. So here I shrunk down the image, I shifted him up to do his upper torso. suggestion of the hand, fingers where the fingers are. The other hand, fist clenched, he's holding some sort of bag in my reference photo. So I'm utilizing that, and I'm doing it closer to the reference photo. Now I'm happy with the color. I'm kind of happy with the background, but I keep playing it because I want to give you more of a scene than just a headshot or just his body and in a bland background. So I start playing around here. I'm still working his hand, detailing his other hand, his fist, his clenched fist. I'm bringing it out and matching pretty much the color that he has on his face. The real light source is still behind him, so his face is kind of shadowed but highlighted more on the edges. That he has like an ambient light hitting him from certain angles, which brings out his features. That's how the reference photo was as well. So here I'm working on the brick wall that his hand is leaning on, or his hand is touching. And I'm gonna tweak that index finger slightly in a minute. And I didn't like the way it looked. And I go back to the wall, I keep working on the wall, I go back to the background, and there's a giant tire in my reference photo, like a tractor trailer tire. So I figured, why not? Let me incorporate that. So I do the rim and the wheel, and I kind of suggestively detail it out without really going into detail. And then I bounce back to him and his jacket and the folds and ruffles on his jacket. I have to make that look pretty much realistic. You can make it look like leather or denim or whatever have you. But I just gotta make it look like it's his jacket and he's wearing it. Now, this picture, he does seem a little thin. Now that I'm looking at it here, I'm seeing, little mistakes, but I'm still continue to shape him out, shape out the bag, give him more detail, give his clothes more detail. And then actually at his angle, my reference photo, this is correct, pretty much correct. So I go with my shadow under the fingers and I highlight the top of the fingers because the light source is coming in from slightly behind him, but above. So I go into shadow the truck wheels, under the truck wheels. And it was basically, the only thing you could really see in the background was that stupid wheel, which, I do it just to make it look like he's standing in front of something, and he's coming into a doorway or he's leaning on a wall, and it usually works. But like I said, there's no real detail on that tire in the background. The detail is predominantly on him, so your eye will always gravitate back to him no matter where it goes. In the picture, it'll revert back to his face and his hand, and back to him. He's in the foreground. So here I was playing around with duplicating his face, putting his face where the tire is. It seemed to work with his afro, the highlights on his afro and his afro. And then I dropped out the tire, I erased the tire behind him slightly to see if it would work. He was a character, so I figured I'd do it like a character drawing. And that's pretty much what I ended up with. And then I fine-tuned it, I cleaned it up. I made it larger, I extended on his clothes, his neckline, the top of his chest. I continue to work on this until I feel that it's right. And then I re-superimpose it back, put it back in, adjust the layers, and adjust what I don't like where it overlays. I flip it to see if it looks better the opposite way, then I flip it back because I decided it didn't look better that way. And then I pretty much erase the sections behind his foreground on his head and behind his hand and behind his jacket to make it stand out. I play with the hues a little, get slightly more realistic color, the tone color down a bit. I could have left it that shade, it would have been fine. that's pretty much it. It's all just about done. You know, we'll go back, detail the eyes a little, and that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you for watching.